Think about this football team. Yeah, they need a defensive tackle. They need a corner as well. But now you got the leader of your defense in Luke Kuechly, coming in out of Boston College, ready to play, rather be an impact player. Like his coverage ability was something that goes underrated, Boom. 7 interceptions, did a real good job in that area as well.
Well, he's a unique player. I mean, that's, again, a, quote, devalued position where we've seen the running back go 3, we've seen the safety go 7, and we've seen an inside linebacker go 9. So if that's devalue, maybe I'm looking at the wrong scale, because these are all top 10 players. They're unique players. Now, we're going to do a little bit of recap because just about everybody is drafting where you didn't think they would be drafting. Our GMC never say never. Quarterback selected 1 and 2 in the same draft. It's happened this year for the 5th time. Jim Plunkett, they were the Boston Patriots for about 2 more months after they drafted him. 1, and Archie Manning was 2 in 71. Actually, Dan Pastorini went 3 that year. Then Drew Bledsoe went 1 to the New England Patriots. Rick Meyer had a good rookie year, actually, with Seattle 2 in 1993. 98, the much talked about Peyton Manning to Indy, Hall of Fame career, still playing. Ryan Leaf, the other end of the spectrum, San Diego Chargers. 1999, Tim Couch, not much success, 1, Cleveland. Donovan McNabb, a wonderful career, Philadelphia. By the way, Achilles Smith went 3. And then, of course, today, we had Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin go 1-2. So you can see not everything was automatic in that list, although some of them, like Jim Plunkett, we go a long time ago, with the Patriots, not so much because they weren't a very good team while he was there. But with the Raiders, he won a couple of Super Bowls. So sometimes you have to see how it turns out. Now, Carolina did Kuechly, the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. The Buffalo Bills made almost as much of a splash in the offseason as any team. The Mario Williams to rush the passer. Anderson, Mark Anderson, they signed for the Patriots to rush the passer. Now what? I think they go
with the 10th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. The Buffalo Bills select Stephon Gilmore, defensive back, South Carolina.
Well, look, they now have a front wall. If it all works out with Dave Wannstedt, the new defensive coordinator for Chan Gailey, the Bills, who began 5-2 but ended 1-8 to finish 6-10. Mario Williams, Kyle Williams, Marcel Darius, number 1 pick last year of the Bills, and Mark Anderson. They got pretty good linebackers, and now they put him, their new corner Gilmore, with some names you might know who might be at the back half of what we've seen from them. McKelvin, Drayton Florence, McGee, but they're in a division with New England. You need more than 2 or 3 guys to defend the pass, and now you can rush the passer. What kind of player will Gilmore be for the New England, for the Buffalo Bills?
I really like this kid, and he's an outstanding athlete, which he proved at the combine and at his workout day. Inside of 4.4, 3.94 short shuttle, Mel, 6.61 in the 3-cone. He played his best football, I think, in South Carolina 2 years ago when he led the Gamecocks in tackles. He is a wrecking machine coming off the edge on those corner blitz. I think he needs some work in his back pedal, in his fundamentals as a pure cover guy. But Gilmore, you'll see him playing wildcat quarterback. He is a real all-purpose football player that'll help him in the kicking game. He'll help him inside in their nickel, and he's good enough to play outside and become a very good physical press corner.
John, you said it. You talk about a guy like Stephon Gilmore coming in, smart kid, battle-tested. Well, he's a junior. Well, 3 years he started, was a high school quarterback. Coming into South Carolina, ended up with 181 career tackles. Look at him, 6'1.5", about 192 pounds, just fluid enough in coverage. A little stiff, but just fluid enough to be able to hold up and get the job done out there in coverage. Excelled in the classroom and on the gridiron as well. Guy will tackle. Intense competitor. You talk about a guy in coverage made plays. I'll tell you what, he made his mark in terms of, you talk about Mo Claiborne needing maybe to improve in that area. Cut down the field, made plays in coverage, but he will attack. He will be like a safety in the box at the cornerback position. Come up, he'll tackle well, finish his plays, competes day in and day out in practice. Nailed the draft process. Saw about on the field, great character, then running a 4.4, which was faster than people thought at the combine, vertical 36 inches. When you put it all together, he really moved ahead late in the process ahead of Drake Kirkpatrick from Alabama. It kind of was locked in. Well, Kirkpatrick will go right behind Claiborne. Stephon Gilmore said, not so fast. He moved out of Kirkpatrick, then ascended in to the early portion of the first round.
Buffalo Bills have a lot to look forward to this coming season. They finally beat the Patriots for the first time in about 80 games last year. And they have a lot. We've said they've rebuilt the defense. Jackson comes back healthy as the running back. Ryan Fitzpatrick played hurt half the year with ribs. They have a lot of potential to be an uprising team. Now, a year removed, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are next on the clock, they were one of those teams that came from nowhere, surprised everybody, beat San Diego on that opening Monday night, and were never headed, and they won the division. A year ago, not the same result. The Kansas City Chiefs, who were picking 11th, fell to 7-9. Todd Haley got fired toward the end of the season. Romeo Crennel took over. Romeo won 2 of his 3 games, including the only team in the regular season to beat the Green Bay Packers. Romeo, now the full-time coach, gets another shot. Remember, he was head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And so the Kansas City Chiefs, who also, like Buffalo, had many of their key players injured. Maybe a year removed, they're a team that jumps back in it because of who's coming back and maybe who they're about to pick.
Yeah, if you told me I could have Jamal Charles and Eric Berry and Tony Moeaki and Castle back healthy, I'd say I don't even need to draft. That's how good those players are and how much they missed them. But I think Romeo Crennel is going to be looking at nose tackle right here on his defense. Kelly Gregg, a key component in that 3-4 defense, retired. Dontari Poe, your guy from Memphis, Mel. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a big man to help him on defense.
Well, if that's the one, there's a lot of mixed opinion there. However, well, maybe they're still deciding. Maybe they're reading Edgar Allan Poe's short stories. I don't know. There are some good ones, you know.
He's got a lot of potential.
See, now if I had said that, I'd get ripped for about 3 years. You can go with it. You're the rising star.
I learned quick from you, Chris.
Well, we'll see what the Chiefs do a year removed from the surprise winners of the AFC West.
With the 11th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Dontari Poe, nose tackle, Memphis.
Well, look, Romeo Crennel, defensive coordinator under Bill Belichick, defensive coordinator, defensive coach with Coach Parcells. A big nose is part of what they need. Now, Dontari Poe at Memphis, Mel and John explained to everybody that, to quote Edgar Allan Poe, maybe you might be drinking a cask of Amontillado, depending on how he plays.
Look, tremendous strength and size. His combine number is amazing. He's athletic. I've seen him drop into coverage on zone blitzes. Sideline to sideline range when he turns it on is impressive for a big man. But he does not dominate marginal competition enough for the 2 eyes I have, Mel. A very low factor grade. There are games, I'm watching the Central Florida game, the Southern Miss game. I'm still waiting for Poe to unleash the fury and that God-given talent that he has. He's going to the right place because he's going to meet Romeo Crennel, one of the premier defensive line coaches that have ever coached in this league. And if Dontari Poe buys into it and really buys what Romeo Crennel is selling, the Kansas City Chiefs got a rare physical specimen to anchor this 3-4 defense.
Think about this, John. You think about freakish talent, unbelievable talent. He has it. Haloti Ngata type numbers, 6'3.5", 345 pounds. This kid ran a 4.87. That's faster than some linebackers. You talk about 44 reps. That's amazing. 29.5 vertical. The production you alluded to, John, wasn't there on a game-to-game basis. No doubt about that. But he flashed. Occasional penetration. He showed it. 14.5 tackles for loss last 2 years. That's not bad. Played on a team that was out of games early, okay? Not competitive. You think about rotation in the NFL. Won't wear down. You saw that happen with him in some games as well. I think when he's coached up, you hope you can push the right buttons and motivate Dontari Poe to be the player that he's capable of. Haloti Ngata numbers should result in a Haloti Ngata type performance. That wasn't the case. He only had half the tackles, not his final year at Oregon, Poe's final year at Memphis. Half the tackles for Poe, yet equal ability and talent